Assalamu alaikum students, this is your teacher again here for our new lesson that is about food chain and the food webs. So what is a food chain? A food chain is the path by which the energy passes from one living thing to another. A food chain is a series of events in which one organism eats another and obtains energy. A food chain shows one possible path along which energy can move through an ecosystem. I have just told you how the energy moves from here to there, there to there, and from this out. So the first animal which eats this plant is called as a herbivore or a consumer. The second which eats it is called as an omnivore or a consumer. And the third which eats it is called as a carnivore or a consumer. Okay, so what is a food chain? All of you have done a lot about the projects of food chain. So basically a food chain shows the transfer of energy within an ecosystem, that how the energy starts transferring means the energy of plant is transferred to grasshopper, grasshopper's energy transferred to this mouse, mouse energy has transferred to this animal, and from this animal it has been transferred to this eagle, and then it becomes decomposed. Okay, means it becomes dead. So energy is transferred between organisms when one organism eats another. You have seen that this grasshopper is eaten by this mouse is eaten by this animal. So it is not only the transfer of energy, it is the transfer of organisms also. Okay, so the a food chain is a simple linear series of steps, while a food web is more complex. What do you know by this word web? Web means when many things are interconnected with each other. Chain is only a single linear direction. Okay, students? While web, it is much interconnected things with each other. Okay, so food webs. In the wild, animals may eat more than one thing. Okay, students? So now we need to know that it doesn't mean that one plant is eaten by one animal at a time. Okay, like here you can see, students, that this grass is eaten by this grasshopper, this grass is eaten by this rabbit, and this grass is eaten by this mouse at a time. Got it? So at a time, this grass is being eaten by mouse, rabbit, and grasshopper. So when anything is eaten by more than one thing, we make it is making more than one food chain. So all the food chains, when they are interconnected or joined, that is called as the food web. Okay, that is called as the food web. So to get the food, they need small herbivores. They may eat lots of different plants, and carnivores may eat many different animals. Now you are watching that this grasshopper is eaten by this lizard is eaten by this hawk, then this rabbit is eaten by hawk, this mouse is also eaten by hawk, and this mouse is again eaten by snake and hawk. Means there here you can see so many food chains interconnected with each other. So when many food chains are interconnected with each other, students, that is called as a food web. That is called as a food web. Okay, so this is a very good example of food web. Okay, you can see three plants, and remember one thing, students, that either a food chain or a food web, it always start from a plant. Remember, okay, that either a food chain or a food web, it always started from a plant. Okay, like here you can see corn, a flowering plant, lavender, and mangoes. That is the stage number one. Now this corn is eaten by grasshopper. Grasshopper is at a time eaten by frog and the rat. This rat is eaten by this wolf and eagle. Okay, this rat is also, oh my god, eaten by this python. which is very dangerous, and this is ultimately being eaten by this eagle. Okay, then you can see that this frog is also directly eaten by this eagle. Dragonfly is being eaten by frog. Thrush, it is that dragonfly also eats this thrush, and so many interconnections you can see over here. So this is a good example of food web, and I hope that now you are clear what is a food chain and what is a food web. Okay, now this is the difference between food chain and the food web. Okay, like in food chain, it is only a continuous one series of transfer of energy. Okay, from producers, the energy goes to primary consumers, means the very first animal which eat it up, then it will shift it to the or transfer to the next, which is called as the secondary consumer, which is eating the primary consumer. Then the animal which will eat this secondary consumer will call as the tertiary consumer, and this tertiary consumer is finally eating this it, and this is called as the final consumer. And when it becomes dead and die, it becomes dead, and we call them decomposers. What we call them? Decomposers. And this is the look of the food web. I already explained it, that in food web many food chains are interconnected with each other, because it doesn't mean that at a time only one animal is eaten by one another animal. Rather, at a time, one animal or a plant can be eaten by more than two or three animals. Okay, students, I hope it is clear to you, to everyone. Now the next is, what are the adaptations? Okay, means when the animals have to live in the environment, in the surrounding, what changes they must have, or what like adaptations they have in their body which help them to survive. Basically, these adaptations help the animals to survive in the environment. Okay, students, so you can see that this actual um, this actual body parts or coloration that help an organism to survive in their environment, means sometimes they do the camouflage. What is this camouflage? That the color of the body of the animal and the place where they are sitting or present, that is same. Like we cannot identify the parrot sitting in the green leaves, isn't it? Then mimicry is that the resemblance of the animal, and again the branch where it is, or habitat where it is living, bend hind legs, sharp teeth and claws, and body structures. Okay, so all these are the adaptations. Okay, these are the different adaptations: long teeth, camouflage, bend hind legs, sharp teeth and claws, body structures. Okay, so this is the adaptations. Like predators who have to hunt, they run very fast because they have to attack, so they have strong legs. This is also their a type of adaptation. They may have sharp claws because they have to tear the flesh of the other animal. Stinging tentacles. This is the speciality of the aquatic animals. Okay, tentacles are just like the type of strong. You can say the uh, cage. They will hold that animal inside of these tentacles, and it helps to hold the animal in it. Then they may have the large teeth. These are the large teeth. That is the speciality of carnivores. We have learned in our last lesson also. Okay, and what is the adaptations of prey? Means prey are those animals which are being hunted by the other uh, predators. So this is the protective covering, maybe camouflage. False coloring means here we cannot identify that either it is a plant or it is any animal. Okay, mimicry, you can see that over here there it is an ant, but its shape and this part is very similar to each other, so we cannot identify or like locate the animal sitting over here. Okay, so actually this was our today's lesson, in which we have learned about food chain, food web, adaptations and further features of adaptations. Okay, students?